For over 2 years, I was trapped in a place that I call the bipolar void. What is the bipolar void? The bipolar void is a place of overwhelming depression and despair. As a direct result of my manic episode, I faced many life consequences. I got expelled by my college fraternity. I got expelled by my university. I lost my full-time job. And then in the depression that followed, I became socially isolated, depressed. I was experiencing racing thoughts. I wasn't even sure how I got into this place because it all happened so quickly. And I certainly did not understand how I was supposed to get myself out of this rut. But I've done it. And so I want to share some insights of how to counter the negative feelings that overwhelm you when trapped in the bipolar void. And this video can be for anybody who's feeling a strong sense of depression, because this video is focused on bipolar depression, but depression affects everybody, not just people with bipolar. Anybody can experience depression to varying degrees. It's just one of those unfortunate elements of life that we all are going to inevitably encounter at one point or another, and in some cases far more extreme than others, of course. In some cases it's so extreme that it results in a diagnosis. But, I personally feel like, and I'm not speaking as a psychiatrist, but I personally feel like all of us will experience depression to some degree at some point in our lives. So that's what this video is about. It's how I dealt with my depression, how I overcame that depression and despair, the feelings of hopelessness, the sense that there was no getting better. When my depressive state started, I was around 180 pounds. And very quickly, in about a year and a half, I went up to 354 pounds. That was my peak. And the reason I reached that apex is I started a series of medications for my bipolar treatment, as part of my bipolar treatment. And the notable side effect on many of these medications was weight gain of light or moderate severity. In my case, I had extreme severity, profound severity. And so I gained a lot of weight very quickly. And in my mind, it just ticked off this box of, well, I need to do something about it eventually. It kind of gave me a sense of purpose, something to do. That, all right, I can't control these other aspects of my life, but I could focus on getting this weight off. Now, I am in no way advocating that you gain weight so that you have something to focus on. Ideally, you don't want to gain the amount of weight that I did, or more, or slightly less, because it's unhealthy. It's such a burden, and in my case, for a long period of time, it extended my depression. But eventually, with the passage of time, when I recognized, and this is key here that I want everyone to try and hear me out on, is it's not your fault this happened. And this was a huge part of my recovery. Realizing that it wasn't my fault that I lost control of my mind. It wasn't me who was acting that way. It was the illness that conducted myself that way. It wasn't of my own free will and accord that I did and said the things I did. It was the illness that ultimately acted as a catalyst for those things that transpired. And so understand that it's not your fault. Understand too that this experience is going to make you stronger. This experience is going to make you formidable even. If you can get past this, that feeling of depression and despair in the wake of a manic episode, there's truly nothing that can overcome you going forward. Because, I can't think of anything more disruptive and destructive than mania. Losing control of your mind. It's like, suffering the loss of a loved one is very hard in itself. Mania, in many ways, and I've talked about this in a video before, it's like you're suffering the loss of yourself. Because you watched you lose control of yourself. You watched your world around you come crumbling down. And in the aftermath, it's just like, where do I go from here? I get that. That is why it makes you formidable. It makes you stronger. And I know it's cliche, but there's that saying from a song, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I think that's very true in this instance. Hardship builds character. It moldens us into a tougher form of clay. It allows us to more easily deal with the obstacles that come at us going forward. And the last thing, when dealing with depression and despair, is to realize that, and this is also cliche, but it's true, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Regardless of whether you know how you got to this place or not, regardless of whether you can see the way out, there is a way out. There is a path you can take to become better. And that path may look different than the one that you were on before, and that's okay. Because this isn't your fault. But you're stronger now. And you're in a position where, regardless of what path you take going forward, it's going to be much harder for the chaos of life, for mania, to knock you down the way that it did before. So keep your heads up. Please don't give up. Never give up. And remember that saying by President Calvin Coolidge, nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. That's a quote I've held dear to my heart for an incredibly long length of time, and it's helped me a lot in realizing what I need to do to get better. So I'm going to stay persistent, and I want you to stay persistent with me. If you're going through a hard time, stay persistent. Take things one day at a time. Don't be too hard on yourself. Appreciate you all watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new. Everybody hit the like button so that more people could see this video, so that we could help others learn and improve and get better. And be sure to check out the other videos on my channel as well. We have over 250 plus and counting now, I believe. So thank you all. I hope you all have a gloriously excellent day. Thank you.